Finland's tournament life is on the line here. They need a win against Team Friends, who for the first time in the Nexus games look beatable. It was a really good performance that we've seen from the Finnish team thus far. Is it going to be enough though? We're going to find out in a few minutes. Gentlemen, Tix, we mentioned this guy over and over again. What would you rate the performance of the other teammates around him this time around? Was it just a one-man show, or do you think it was a whole combined team effort?
I think actually we need to look out of the game and we need to look at the draft phase. The better draft has won both of these games so far. And again, fans probably outdrafted slightly harder than Finland did, and they looked very convincing in game 2. But I think Finland need to focus on getting a competent draft rather than a comfortable draft.
Yeah, and we can make the argument that their draft in that last game was very good until the Sergeant Hammer appeared. It was okay against the Tracer comp. Second Sergeant Hammer appeared, you've got those two big threats and no way to really get to the Sergeant Hammer. So France won the draft, but Finland, they do have the skills to be able to get those solid drafts.
And we're going to wrap it up with another look at the maps that we were able to pick and ban up to this point. We see that Tumbersbrecken was the first pick for Team France. They lost. Finland picked Curse Hollow. They lost. So if this trend continues, you don't want to be the team that chooses the map.
Very true. Like you said, both teams losing on their chosen maps here. We do still have potentially the most common map for these kind of tiebreaker scenarios, Infernal Shrine, still in the pool, so I'm potentially leaning that way.
Sounds like a good thing to pick, right?
I think it might be.
And I think it is. Infernal Shrines it is. One of the most neutral battlegrounds, one of the best suited battlegrounds actually if you have a deciding game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Infernal Shrines is a map that does not favor first pick as much as some of the others. First pick has won both games this series.
Yeah.
On this map, things might be different.
Yep, like you said, this map is so... I don't want to say figured out because we do see experimentation on it, but it's been in the map pool so long, teams are comfortable, and it's a good one to prepare strategies for. So first pick to begin building those strategies can be even more important.
By the same token, isn't it good for friends that they play on Infernal Shrines now? Because you could play the Zagara if you wanted to, but it's also not too shabby of a map for the Tracers, so both styles in theory could be applicable right now.
Yeah, even Vikings can
even the
work here.
Vikings.
This used to be one of their most popular maps. I like to say not so much anymore, but no map is a popular map for the Vikings nowadays, except for maybe Towers of Doom.
And Garden of Terror.
This tournament.
It's not here.
It is not here, no, so we do not have to deal with that.
All right, so the Tassadar gets eliminated, and that was probably one of the backbones for Team France to fall back on as well. He was good for the Sergeant Hammer. He was even better for the Tracer.
It lets Zagara through, though. Last time we didn't see Zagara banned in the first rotation, but this time we could be in the same situation as the first game, where Zagara is really in that first pick worthy.
I'm not sure. Like the first rotation and second pick, you only get 2 picks, and then there is another ban phase. So you have to pick Zagara there, or it can be second ban. But do you want to pick Zagara that highly? France did not in game 1, and I'd be surprised if they did in game 3.
The Genji made it through. Tix could pick this hero now. Or at least
they banned potentially one of the biggest counters for it. Horrifying great against Genji, but ETC just too strong. He is winning base. He has won both games. No, he didn't win the last one.
He lost.
Stage Dive was not able to win in the series.
All right. Do you agree with that choice? Prioritizing ETC over a potential Tix comfort pick Genji.
Genji is definitely a weaker hero on this map because he cannot do the objective, and it's very easy to play safe in the lane phase. But at the same time, we were talking about how strong Tix was on that Genji, and France, they are also able to play him. So
yeah,
I think I like it, but at the same time, Finland definitely are missing out on an opportunity here.
There is also the argument that we've been saying before out of leaving Tix till last because he's potentially the most flexible player for that carry. One of them is already banned out though, and another one could be taken away, but potentially getting one of their players onto that ETC, that comfort pick they've played 2 games in a row now, might be more important to them.
And Kiski Fish was a powerful ETC in game.
Yes, he was.
Probably one of the best performances I have seen coming from him here. Now we see pretty much the standard opener for the team that has second
I think
there.
Yeah.
Most games that I remember on Infernal Shrines, we have seen an ETC first pick into the classic PvE combination of Greymane and Veigar.
All right, Rhaegar brings so much to the table, especially in this battleground. He could go for the mercenary camps, he's good for the shrines, and you guys are seeming quite excited about that Genji now.
I'm excited about that. They are doubling down on the Genji now. Uther and Genji, the combination that absolutely demolished the United Kingdom on the Haunted Mines game 2 days ago. They're playing it out again. With the option of the Holy Cow.
I was just about to say, they have the double Uther combo. He works with everything they have so far. And one of Uther's biggest counters, one of the heroes he has the biggest issue with, the Gul'dan, has been removed. That good AoE spread damage.
Yeah, that's a very keen observation there, Tetcher. Well done. I really think the Gul'dan ban paved the way for that Uther to be locked in. Now, are there other counters available still?
Yeah, there are. So you still have Lunara. You still have the option to pick Malthael. Again, another hero that can really roll over Uther's team. But definitely less scary than it would have been if that Gul'dan was still up. Now, I want to draw attention to the Chromie ban. Could this be targeting out Cleftor? We saw him perform incredibly well, getting snipe after snipe on the Haunted Mines game, putting out so much damage from the back line. That was with the Uther-Genji combination.
Yes, it was. So banning it out to make sure that they are not facing the exact same draft. Research has been done. Finland continuing to stick with a theme, denying Danatan Sagara.
So the last time Team Friends was put to this battleground here in Infernal Shrines, they went for the Sergeant Hammer. Can they do it again?
It worked well in the last series. I would argue Finland... The Genji is potentially a little bit better at getting to the Sergeant Hammer. He has a much easier time as opposed to bringing Hammer to you as they did last game.
I think the key thing to know is that what is Chromie good against? What does Chromie counter? It's Sergeant Hammer. They had to ban the Zagara, they felt like, so Hammer still open. And again, it is something they did show on this map. I think they can leave it till last though, because Finland are most likely not going to pick it.
They're not going to pick it themselves. The Johanna gets locked in and the Brightwing as a secondary support.
This does mean if they do want to go for Sergeant Hammer, though, they will be running solo tank Johanna again. And it did okay in the first game, but it did once again come up short once we got to the late game.
As it has in every game, Johanna's been played as a solo tank this tournament. So definitely a slightly worrying trend for France. Finland, they have to be thinking about the Hammer. How do we deal with it? Possibly a Li Ming. Traditionally, not great on this map, but as Mana of Team Poland showed, if you can get the flank and you can thread the needle, then definitely a scary hero.
And double reset comp would be what they end up with there, which we know has some success. Another potential, if they have a player who can do it, Finland could potentially steal it if they wanted to go for that style as their second damage dealer.
That would be a big risk, though. I'm not sure if they prepared this strategy. It seems like a very bold thing to do.
Very much a France practice strategy.
Yeah, I think so. Other mages, though. What about the Kel'Thas potentially coming in? Or a Li Ming? Okay,
Li Ming Sonya. I like it. I like it. It's very similar to the composition that they had on the Haunted Mines games where they showed such exquisite team fighting. The Sonya might be a leap to get onto the Hammer. The Li Ming, always a Hammer counter, can sit far away behind the wall and just throw spell after spell at the stationary hero.
And the Sonya is brilliant here due to the fact that you mentioned it earlier, Genji has issues with the objective. Li Ming as well has issues fighting on the objective due to the amount of cursed minions on there. Sonya is probably, along with Kerrigan, the best objective hero on this map. Hammer, though, she's still committed to Li Ming, like you said, being able to attack the stationary Hammer, but Hammer is superb on the objective on this map.
It took them 30 seconds to decide on the Hammer pick, which they've been focusing on the entire draft. So they are worried, but they think it's good enough.
I want to ask you guys, is it good enough? Is it good to win the game number 3 against Finland, or was it too predictable? What are your thoughts on that?
The Hammer, I think, is obviously going to have a much rougher time this game than it did in the last game. And with only a Johanna protecting it, the double support is, of course, wonderful, especially with the potential Emerald win to zone out away from it. But single Johanna, it just concerns me because statistics don't lie.
I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking if Finland are even at level 13, I do not see how they can lose. I have complete faith in them to win that late mid-game and late game. But the players that France have, Ewok on that Brightwing, Danatan on the Hammer, I think they most likely can take it.
All right, and as we can see, the community has not really decided either. It's a 51 to 49 votes, so it couldn't get any closer. And we don't want you to keep you waiting any longer. We're going to dive into game number 3 between France and Finland.
And playing for Team France.
Hold on,
we will explain in a bit.
We want to give the players enough time to really, you know, get everything set up, to have a drink ready, to have the mouse in complete good shape, double check on the internet, because you don't want to have any issues here in such an important game.
Yes, this could be the deciding factor of Finland trying to make it through the groups, or this is really France's safety seat. If they win, they're guaranteed through. They are 3-0 in terms of win-loss ratio. But Finland, Bakery believes in them. I kind of believe in them as well.
It's hard not to believe in them when you saw game 1 and how well they adapted to what France had to offer. In the meantime, though, this little down phase gives you enough time to keep on cheering for your favorite teams in the chat. Hashtag FRWin if you think France is going to take it. Hashtag FIWin if you think that Finland will have what it takes to decide it. And boy, is that an important game for them.
Finland are starting to take a small lead here. 53 to Finland as opposed to 47% for Team France. And Team France, reminder, are leading this group. That's how confident the chat are in this draft.
Who would have thought just a few days ago, the Finnish team, they struggled against every single opponent they faced in the group thus far. And against the best team, just against the best team, they're looking stronger than ever.
Exactly. And with this double reset comp, we've seen like one really big failure of the double reset comp, but otherwise it's been remarkably successful. Remarkably is the wrong word, accurately successful.
And when you have that Tix on the Genji, you know that one part of the double reset is probably one of the scariest you will have to face in the entire tournament at the Nexus games.
Yes, absolutely. And the hammer, though, it's so far for Team France got a 100% win rate.
It does.
That's kind of crazy.
It has yet to be beaten, and I'm really curious to see whether Finland has the material, the player material, to make this first win against Hammer happen.
Well, let's have a look at France's player material as we see Kerwa playing on that grey main. Wonka is playing on the Johanna. In the top lane, we're going to be seeing Danatan on that Sergeant Hammer, Masquerade on the Brightwing, and in the bot lane, it's going to be Ewok on the Rhaegar.
And their opponents fighting hard to make their country proud. It is Team Finland consisting of Tix on the Genji, MXD on the Li Ming. This time around, Klefter plays Uther, ETC by Kiski Fish, and last but not least, we have Sonya being wielded by Theldwin.
And for the first time in this tournament, Laws of Hope comes in for the Johanna. Not going with the hold your ground, even though she is against a very crowd control heavy comp. Sonya is hovering around where the Sergeant Hammer is. Sergeant Hammer gets a couple 3 hits.
Look at the map awareness too.
Back up.
Very nicely done by Danatan and Masquerade. They smelled the cake here. They thought, or they realized that something wasn't quite right. And indeed, there was a potential 3-man gang going on already for the Finnish team.
So, Theldwin holding the line for the moment, taking a couple hits from Hammer though. He needs Kiski Fish and Tix to be here to help him, but right now they're dealing with Kerwa, who was able to scout them out.
Yeah, wonderfully done by Kerwa, and I want to pay a special attention to him this time on the Raymond, because I really felt like he carried last game hard on that Tracer, and if you have players who have so much experience like Kerwa, like Danatan, perform well, things are going to look really good for you as a team.
Wonka doing what Johanna does very well, clearing up the lanes, holding the minion wave, especially with that Laws of Hope. She can even just hold the lane when she doesn't have any minions herself, because she will regen the health she loses from doing so back.
Yeah, the Laws of Hope is a very interesting talent choice, and I think it's a nice adaptation for this Battleground in particular. It gives you additional sustain, even when your supports are out of range, or when they have to suffer from cooldowns themselves. You will heal up in time, allowing you to stay in battle for a longer period of time. Kira now being attacked by 3 Finnish players, but manages to escape.
Yeah, both teams with very high sustain, not able to execute each other as of yet. So first blood, as of yet unavailable. Lots of mines hitting Tix. 2 more thought about it and changed their mind. And a final hammer auto attack does land on Tix, forcing him to be.
And this is a really nice way by Danatan to play around the Genji. What if you just plant mines everywhere, and the moment Genji tries to go for a cheeky gank on you, he's gonna have to feel the pain.
He could, in theory, if he was really brave, go for the mine talent on level 7. 7 to just punish Genji even more. It would be so risky, but it would be very cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. It would be a really nice thing to see here. Really cool to see all the adaptation coming in by Team France, and the first blood goes in favor of them as well.
Nice knockback by Sergeant Hammer, setting that up. But Danatan taking a little damage. 4 mines are dropped though. Danatan is surrounded, but Tix is dropping low.
There we go.
Taken out. Danatan is picking up the kills in this early game.
And we talked about it, Genji being such a good counter pick to the Sergeant Hammer. Right now it looks like it was the exact opposite. Nice knockback by Kiskifish, keeping the siege mode out of range of the towers.
But Sergeant Hammer just unsieges and moves back in, and that tower will drop. In the meantime, 34 Curse Minions, 35 going over to Team France, and they will be taking the first Punisher of the game.
And this is so important. Sergeant Hammer, similar to other heroes like, let's say, an Illidan or a Kerrigan, if you fall behind with those heroes, it's going to be so hard to get any value from them because they are dependent on a good early game, and they smell it once again. Beautifully done. Genji this time focusing on bribing it, not on Sergeant Hammer.
But reinforcement hammer bribe for Team France. Tix is forced to retreat. Kiskifish will escape, but once again, a failed gank by Team Finland.
That was still very well done by Tix overall, though. He saved his cyber agility jump until it was really needed. Oftentimes you will see crazy Genjis or reckless Genjis go for the Swift Strike, just dancing around with a jump immediately, and then find themselves outnumbered and outmobilized.
I do quite like this from Team Finland, though. Yeah, they took a lot of damage just then, but the reason they did so is they saw so many members of Team France in the top lane, they felt comfortable defending the mid lane outside of the gate, so they would deny any extra damage that would have come onto that fort.
Definitely true, but in return, they also had to take a lot of damage. Top lane, no more towers left standing. In the bottom lane, I believe it was the same picture we could see there. Even in the middle, only the gate, not even the gate. Still standing. But we get the idea.
Exact same situation with the tower in the bot lane, by the way. And Lescaro was able to shoot that on the way out, but last time I saw it, it had like 1 hit point left.
Yeah, level 7, by the way, not being immediately locked in by Genji. He's probably deciding on whether he should go for the perfect defense, maybe, if he wants to get his W up more frequently, or maybe going for the dodge.
Maybe going for the dodge. The dodge could work out here for him. Sergeant Hammer, by the way, not pleased, I guess, by going for the mine build. Like we said, going for the safe and sensible decision of the first aid.
Now it is Wonka trying to go, gets a triple condemn up. He's trying to make things happen.
Uther is in a rough position and will get taken out. A failed raid by Team Finland. 3 kills to 0 in favor of France and a full level lead. MXD being forced to retreat.
Yeah, but in return, he managed to get some nice magic missiles out of there in the Sonya. Was he to see they're chasing mercilessly. Nice juke by Wonka, completely changing the movement of his, or the direction of his movement there, running towards Masquerade, who was only trying to help him, and you could really see the communication between the two players. I'm coming from the top, I'm coming from the top, so he changed his path.
Yeah, even taking a couple extra shots to do so, but it allowed him to get out, and once again, Finland failed to get the kill. They are in a situation where they've tried so hard again looking for Danatan, but he's able to use that boost to put himself out of danger.
And I really love how the French team is working together as a unit right now. Danatan using his lightning reflexes to dodge all ganking attempts by Finland, and then Bribe was immediately at his side to really drop a Pixie Dust against Li Ming. And this ability in particular, Pixie Dust against all that focus fire by Li Ming, is going to be able to block so much of the potential damage.
Oh yes, and we've already seen it a couple times throughout this match, and we will see it even more as it goes on. Sonya, though, now has Burst. We see Li Ming now has Burst with Calamity and Poisoned Spear available for them. Genji, by the way, did end up going for dodge.
But they do not have nice Arcane Orb, stealing a lot of skellies. But what they do not have yet, Tetra, is the level 10, and that's why they can contest this shrine. Li Ming just trying to be cheeky, throwing in a couple of abilities here and there.
So Danatan has gone for the BFG. Traditionally on this map, used it to
is your body ready for it?
The Napalm? Yes, my body is very ready for it, but yes. We usually see the Napalm for focusing onto the shrine, but in this case, he's getting that burst potential. With Cursed Bullet from the Greymane, there. Oh my god, Feltwin.
Block is good.
Hang on, missile. Finish him.
Is there BFG coming?
Take the shot. I've wanted him to, but he's not going to, unfortunately. He holds it, doesn't take the risk of the blind BF.
But Block is a pretty good talent that single-handedly saved Sonya's life there.
Sonya now has Leap. The counter engage, jumping onto that Sergeant Hammer potential.
All right, let's take a look. How much damage will the BFG be able to do? Of course, on Infernal Shrines, it is such a good ability because it is very easy to predict where the enemies are going to come from. And in those choke points near the shrine areas, you can hit 2, 3, 4, maybe even the entire team with it.
Yeah, especially if Brightwing's able to get a good Emerald Wind to actually do the opposite of what you'd normally want from Emerald Wind and group people up against the wall or in one of those potentially mercenary camp areas.
And Johanna as well, pulling people together, slowing them, maybe even stunning them with a nice blessed shield. There's a lot of, you know, synergy plays. The idea seems to be to group people together with Johanna so she can actually also fully stack Subdue, which she has gone for again, and then drop the BFG. Finland, on the other hand, ETC, even though he's level 11, has still not picked his heroic. Oh, that was close. That was a lot of damage, and that is just a taste of what Li Ming and Genji are capable of doing. As you said, ETC has not decided on the heroic ability just yet. I think I'm leaning towards the stage dive a little bit more to really dive the backline, but a mosh pit is definitely a possibility. As we said during the draft, the Holy Cow, Divine Shield mosh pit is a thing. 3 different heroes have the interruptions, Bless Shield / Condemn, the knockback from Sergeant Hammer, right wing, Emerald Wind. Bless Shield is used, and Kinsky Fish, he quick picked Mosh and got killed off. Wow, that was close, but here comes the battle cry from Sonya. Deldrin going deep, they get 2.
They get 1. Li Ming was killed off. That's one of their main damage dealers by Ewok coming in from below. Very nicely done by Team Truck.
Yeah, that looked like they got a second kill there, but it was not meant to be. In the meantime, Team Friends is in the driver's seat, quite literally, if you see Danaten here doing his naughty business once more in the bottom lane. Now he's helping Masquerade, Wonka, and Ewok taking those mercenary camps. And those mercenary camps, they will keep Finland busy, especially in the bottom lane. That's where all the distraction wants to go down, so they will have enough time to occupy and take the top shrine.
On the bright side, for the ETC, even though he died while trying to quick pick Mosh there, he died in the casting animation, so therefore it's already back off its very short cooldown now that he is alive again.
Definitely true. We do end up seeing Mosh Pit after all. No stage dive. I could have seen a stage dive leap combo to really destroy the backline of the French team, but looks like they want to go for the more statistically more successful approach with the Mosh Pit.
Very much so, as Kinsky Fish holds the line, takes some hammer damage though from mines and those long-range auto attacks.
Look at Wonka's zoning.
Look at Thelta, and he moves forward, and that is what forces Danaten to leave, because that leap is just too scary.
Absolutely. We see the Holy Fury coming in here, by the way, by Johanna. Now she has a radiating flame around her that will deal more damage on blinded targets, so not too bad.
Yeah, whereas Uther actually has his own similar one, which does more damage per auto attacks that he's able to land on enemy heroes. So we see lots of holy fire in this particular match.
Absolutely, and that, of course, is not only good against enemy heroes, but especially when you fight in those shrine moments there as well. This little bit of additional damage can really wrap up and sum up a lot over time.
You see it there, ticking away at the minions that he's not attacking, working out very well. So far, Danaten not been able to use this BFG to great effect, and they're actually forced off the point. They were close enough to 16 that they decided it's not worth it. And, like you said, they're getting 2 extra lanes of XP.
Yeah, Greyman in the meantime doesn't even care. Neither does Brightwing. They're trying to get value elsewhere. A triple mosh pit, baby!
There's the lead. Not going to use much damage, but that's still Hammer going down, and that did reset the Swift Swipe. As Dragonblade is popped, Ewok is completely alone. He will go down. But in the meantime, Greymane took a fort. Brightwing is pressuring a keep.
That was calculated tactical feeding, if you want to, because look at all the value they're going to be able to get in the middle and the bottom. Brightwing refuses to help. That may have been a mistake. Maybe Brightwing could have teleported and saved somebody. Now she's here. The Emerald Wind is not ready just yet. There's only so much they will be able to do to contain the Finnish team, who's on a rampage, and they want more.
They have no minions. They are committed to this normally. They have to pull back. The lack of minions is too bad for them. Down goes Uther. BFG still not even used. Hammer has revived, and we do see Tix. He will Swift Swipe out here, but that was actually quite rough. Team Finland put a huge amount of pressure onto the keep. They lost the tower in bot lane and the fort in the mid lane in exchange for a fort and the tower in the top lane. So overall, they traded evenly, but they lost the kill. Which they potentially could have retreated and avoided.
Yeah, absolutely true. And keep in mind, this is the top lane. So the moment Finland tries to get a fallen shaman camp, if they maybe even end up getting both of them, this is an immediate keep threat because the tower line is no more. The keep itself suffered 50% of its damage already. So all in all, things considered, I really think that Finland didn't do too shabbily here. Of course, the overall XP count is still leaning heavily towards the French team, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. They try to prevent the Finnish team from getting those Fallen Shamans because they know how much of a pain those could be now in the top lane.
Fallen Shaman will be stolen and top fort will be killed. The full move up here by Team France to guarantee this. And with Sonya nowhere near, which has so far been the main engage tool for Danatan, they are forced to Finland are forced to retreat, and that fort is guaranteed for France.
Holy renewal, by the way, for Johanna. She's going to be even harder to kill right now. This is a very defensive Johanna build that we see here, focusing fully on self-sustain and self-healing with that loss of hope at level 1 and the Holy Renewal at level 16. I correct myself from earlier, by the way. The Holy Fury deals extra damage on crowd control target, not just blind.
Which is, of course, going to work well when you have heroes like the slows from the Rhaegar and everything that Brightwing is able to do.
It's definitely true. Now we see Kira once again doing his thing in the bottom lane.
So we do see that one remaining Impaler. It will finally get finished off by ETC, and the Impalers will still be seized by Team Finland.
Okay, this is basically all in or nothing. There's only one objective currently available. Look at the bottom lane though. Mercenary Camp is pushing. Top lane, Mercenary Camp is pushing. Team France has the map control right now. All they need to do now is group up near the shrine and force their opponents back.
Genji is finishing off the Fallen Shaman in the top lane. He finished off the entire Mercenary Camp. Johanna is around the area, being a big body. Shield dropped in advance onto Danatan, seeing if anyone is coming from a different angle. Hammer able to spot the heroes as Theldwin is trying to clear the lane, but dropped a lot of health, leaving not landing on abilities as Styx jumps into the backline, focusing Danatan, forcing him to unsiege as Bless Shield is dropped. Where is that BFG? Finally it's dropped, and the bot is interrupted. Iceblock keeping Brightwing alive, but she's dropped solo, finally leaving able to pick up the kill. Theldwin is super low, will finally get taken out. Kinsky Fish goes down too. It's only Lee Ming and Uther alive as the fight is dominated by France.
That was a very clear and calculated fight by Team France. As you said, Danatan waited so long before he pulled the trigger and disengaged, but he had first aid available, he had the protection available by Rhaegar and Brightwing. They didn't even have to use their heroic abilities. Everything's still ready for Team France. That's how coolly they could play this.
BFG was used, but they were able to interrupt the mosh pit. They were able to do everything. Only losing one hero, only losing the Brightwing to that Li Ming, but Li Ming, even with those resets, everyone on France was too high in the health pool department. They now have a Punisher, they have Sergeant Hammer with the Punisher, and they're going to be looking for a key.
And my personal MVP of that last team fight was Wonka on that Johanna. Not only did he do a great job interrupting the mosh pit and keeping everybody away, but he intercepted so many Li Ming abilities to keep Danatan on the Sergeant Hammer safe and sound.
Brightwing has revived and immediately teleports onto Danatan, giving him that preemptive shield and gaining his team the vision. With the keep down, France basically have all they really need here. They're just looking for more. Oh, BFG snipes Li Ming. The leap to try and get the counter kill, but so much protection. Kerr was able to take down the Genji in the backline. That's both of the damage dealers. They'll do it as he falls for retreat. Kinsky finished off by Kerwa, and that's basically core.
Kerwa just gave VDC a nice big wolf hug, and you do not want to get hugged by Greymane like that. Danatan staying completely untouched, completely unharmed throughout the entire team fight. Team Finland tried really hard to engagement, but it was not enough. And Team France dominate that game number 3 on Infernal Shrines. They take the series, they take the lead, they maintain the lead in their group. Super well played.
And with that, France guarantee themselves a place in the playoffs with 3-0 in terms of set win-loss rate. And Finland, though, a valiant performance, but with only one win on the board. Unless UK can beat Italy, then there is not a good chance of them going through this group.
Yeah, the Finnish team right now is sending all their prayers right at the Italian team. They're basically dependent on them doing the impossible because the Italian team themselves looked so strong. Sorry, they're sending their praise to the UK team. almost got my words wrong here.
Yeah, so France there we spoke about in the draft. Like, we knew that if France, if they got control of the early, then it'd be tough for Finland. And there just wasn't enough space on the map. There wasn't enough places where they could flank from. And in the end, the Sergeant Hammer again showing its prowess.
Absolutely, and there were so many defensive tools available for the Sergeant Hammer. It was really beautiful to see how Dan10, with the help of his supports, just couldn't be taken down. Bakery, show us the first highlight.
So I've got a key replay for you here. As it starts, we see that they're going to engage onto the ETC, and so he's going to do that very quickly. He's so close to getting Mosh Pit out, but it just does not quite connect. Now watch Sonya. So she has leaped this entire time. She's going to wait for the Emerald Wind. Now he rolls away, and now she leaps onto him. Now what's Cleftor and MXD down in this bot lane? Divine Shield is up, but it's not used. He's tunnel visioning so hard on the Grey Main, and this could have been Finland's ticket back into the game. It was 13 versus 11. They could have come back here. But again, so close on the Mosh Pit and Divine Shield not being used mean that they stay behind. And it's key moments like this that happen throughout the game where fans maintain their lead and maintain their map control.
Absolutely. What went wrong for Team Finland there? They did look like they had a good draft. Was it not enough, Tetra?
They really seemed to struggle to get onto the backline. When Sonya would leap in, it would be a good 2 to 3 seconds, especially on the Sergeant Hammer, before anyone was able to follow. And by that point, Brightwing had reacted, Rhaegar had reacted. They weren't able to execute this blow-up that they were looking for to get those resets.
Apart from this replay. So as we go in, we're going to see the top fort dive. Look at ETC below. He flanks all the way around, and this is what they needed the whole game. They need this ETC to flank. Leap goes down, Mosh Pit goes down, double reset, baby, and Rhaegar falls as well. But look at the rest of the map. France, they shouldn't have been this far up. They made a mistake. But the rest of the map, Brightwing's taking Keep Wall, Greymane's taking a fort. They are getting more XP out of this than Team Finland did, despite getting 2 kills and a fort and a Keep Wall.
Bakery, you mentioned ETC being needed more to really dive onto that Sergeant Hammer. We were debating, Tetra and I, during the commentary. Wouldn't have been Stage Dive the better choice, maybe, to achieve exactly that?
I mean, it definitely could have been. We did see Mosh value there, but outside of that, it wasn't really coming through. The third replay and last replay I have for you, though, is this fight. The most influential fight in the game possibly on this side. Now, as it starts, we see Genji. He instantly has to blow Divine Shield, and so much AoE damage comes down. Brightwing gets the Ice Block off. She doesn't get to use Emerald Wind, I believe, in this fight, but she does not need to, because all she needs to do is wait enough time. As soon as Genji dies and the Divine Shield runs out, it's basically all over.
Hammer hit, I think, a 4-person BFG in that choke point. Exactly what you were talking about. Those predictable entry points. Beautiful play.
So what needed to happen is Finland needed this mid-fort to be down, and then they can start the fight with a Sonya from above, with a Genji from all the way below and around. But it wasn't, and then they need to engage from the front. They needed to blow Divine Shield on the engage of Genji before he even cast Dragon Blade.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the analysis, Bakery. We've started day number 5 of the Nexus game with an explosive best of 3, but we are not done just yet. We have more to come. Next in line in the pipeline, we've got Hungary versus Belgium, a very important match. Hungary, they need to win this if they want to hope to make it out of groups relatively safely. Next in line, Germany versus Denmark. Germany, too, needs that win. If Denmark wins, we're going to find ourselves in a really weird place where there's a lot of tiebreakers going to happen. And last but not least, we touched upon it. Italy versus United Kingdom. If Italy wins, they are out of the group's phase. They've done it. If the United Kingdom wins, well, same story here. We're going to have a lot of additional matches to decide who's going to make it. But for now, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the next match. Belgium versus, who was it? Just quick to Hungary. There we go. Easy peasy. We'll see you in a bit.